So, all right. Again, good evening. Good evening. How are you guys doing today? It's another blessed day. It's a great day, and we are going to be discussing yet another great topic. It's career advancement in the United States. How can we move forward? I know you guys are already nurses, but we have to keep moving forward. And how can we do that? So many people do not know how to do that, even though as you are currently waiting for your EB3 petitions to be approved, or you're waiting for your I-140, you're waiting for visa IDs and all that. As you're doing that, I want you to also incorporate planning into the process. Whatever you're going through now, you should be able to have short-term goals and long-term goals. So one of the things that we're going to be discussing today would be your long-term goals, what you're going to do when you come over to the United States, or even those that are still in Nigeria that want to explore other options of coming to the United States. Even those that are not in Nigeria, if you're in any other African country, if you're in any other country elsewhere in the world and you want to come to the US, on a study visa, somebody that we have here today, she did it all by herself and she's going to be able to dissect it for us. But that's not the main goal of our discussion today. We want to go into how she was able to, kind of adapt to the United States when she got here as a student, how she has been surviving in terms of what she's doing. Is she having any side job? How can you make more money? How can you still keep body and soul together while still being a student? How was she able to write her NCLEX? There's a lot of things that we're going to be going through today with our guest. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, there is always a routine that we do here every Friday. Every Friday when we gather here, one of the things that we try to do is to know where people who have joined us here are joining us from. So if you are here and you have joined us from any location as well, I want you to rep your location on the comment section. So please kindly go to the comment section and let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you, Obuagu Hope. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Buhari. Thank you all. I want to see more responses. I want to see more responses from where you are joining us from. Kiru from Nigeria, thank you so much for joining. I have more than 39 people on the call, so I want to see 39 people responding. Rams, thank you from Ghana, thank you. Thank you so much, Fumilayo from Nigeria, Akande from Ibadan, Nigeria. And I have Stella as well. Thank you for joining. Buhari said, good evening to you as well. All right, so I want to see more responses, guys. I want to just see, because one of the reasons why I do this is I want our guests to know the location where people are joining us from, because it's easy for people to come here and think everybody here is from Nigeria and they keep making references to Nigeria. So Maria Udochi, thank you from Nigeria. I have someone from England. I have Lillian from Gambia. I have so many people is pumping in now. I'm losing track. I have Nenye Patrick from Calabar. Thank you. How is Calabar today? And I have Oyaka from Saudi Arabia. Edith, thank you for joining. Stella from England, thank you for joining. And so many other people that have responded. Thank you guys for joining. Yes. Uzamaka Mwankwo, Stella and Ebele and Glory. Somi, all from Nigeria, Chidinma and Nenye, thank you so much for joining. Yes, so today is going to be a great day and we're going to be discussing career advancement. So now we're going to welcome our guests. Today we have, I call her CG. CG, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you, sir. I apologize for coming so late. Like I sincerely apologize.
You're totally fine. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for time to join us today. I
Yeah.
know being someone who is, in a career area, your program is always going to be so tight. So I appreciate the fact that you honored our invitation and that, joined us today. So I want us to get to know you a little bit, your background, who you are, your background, before we go over to what we have to discuss today. Apart from your name, which we see, what are other things that we need to know about you? Maybe where you had your, initial education from and, where you are currently.
Okay. My name is Shiji, and I'm a nurse from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria. And I had my bachelor's in nursing from Redeemers University in Ede, Osun State. And after my bachelor's in nursing, I did a little bit of experience at UCH in Ibadan, the hospital at Ibadan, University College Hospital. And then I moved to Michigan for my master's in nursing, family nurse practitioner specialization.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. And what kind of nursing program did you do in Redeemers University? Was it a BSN program? Was it a diploma program? What kind of program was it?
It was a BSN, bachelor's in nursing.
Okay. All right, sounds good. You may have said that before. Maybe I skipped that. All right. So
Okay.
now, coming to your journey, how did you go from just being a registered nurse in Nigeria to coming here for your master's degree? And I believe you didn't write your NCLEX before you got the admission. So how did it all pan out?
Okay, so while I was still in school, I really wanted to actually leave the Nigeria before, like I just wanted to leave me immediately after school. So I was looking for ways in which I could go without NCLEX stopping me or hindering me. And then when I checked the cost of NCLEX and trying to take it by myself or having to wait for an agency to like help me through the entire process, it was very expensive trying to take it by myself. And at that time, I mean, I don't have that kind of money then. So I was looking for something outside of the box that would not require income. Like, so I started making a lot of research. I tried, in fact, Canada was like my first option and everything. And then eventually I found a school in the US, in Michigan, that would allow you start a master's in nursing degree program without your license, but will give you a grace and a period to take the license. So you get like a conditional admission, and then they allow you, they give you a speculated time to take the license, to take the NCLEX exam, because you have to have your license. Because if you don't have the license, you cannot graduate the program. You can't graduate the master's in nursing program, and you cannot move forward in the program. You can't start your family nurse practitioner clinicals in the program. So they literally just give you a time to take the exam, but they would actually give you the admission without, I mean, if you meet all the requirements without the RN license, US RN license. And then, yeah, that's it. So when I
Wow.
found the school, I just sent an email. But before they give you admission, you have to like of course have your bachelor's in nursing already, and you have to also have your Nigerian license. So all of that you're going to submit your license, your degree, and everything. And then I sent an email, and so since while I was even still doing my bachelor's, I was literally already communicating with the school. I think while I was still in like 400 level or so, or 500 level. It should be about 400 levels. So I started communicating with the school. So I've been communicating with the school about almost 2 years, or about maybe a year and a half before I even graduated. So with that, I would say that was what really actually helped me, because I would say the admission coordinator, she knew me, like because I was always sending email, there was like this constant communication between us. So I'll say she knew me like someone that really wanted to come, something
Mm,
like that.
wow. So thank you so much for that
Yeah.
insight. So now
So
currently, do you have like an estimate of an amount that this whole program costs, for you to go through it? Like how much did it cost you to get yourself at least to the United States, not through the program entirely, at least from the time you started and then coming to the United States, how much do you think you committed to the process?
okay, so the normal program without a scholarship is gonna cost you, for an international student, it's gonna cost you between $13,000 to $15,000 per semester. But if you have a scholarship, it costs you maybe like $1,000 per semester, which is just like extra fees and not the tuition, because the school might just cover for the tuition. And um but there are always scholarship opportunities. I mean, there are graduate assistantship positions that one can always apply for, and also other scholarships. If your bachelor's degree GPA is very high, if it's up to like 3.6 over 4.0 after converted to the US standard, I think you get a $10,000 scholarship per year, which is like $5,000 per semester. And so there are scholarship opportunities, but that's just for the tuition. But if you don't have a scholarship, or if you're unable to get a scholarship and you want to pay out of pocket, it's going to be like $13,000, $15,000 per semester. But that's just for the tuition. And then for the cost of living and all of that, it's I mean it's not specific, it's not fixed. Like, it just depends on how you live and where you how you spend and where you live and everything. But for the cost of attendance for the school, to enable you to get the I-20 document to be able to file for your F1 visa, I think it's about, when I did it, it was about $42,000 for the cost of attendance, which you just have to show proof of fund for. Not that you have to like have the entire $42,000. But if you have the scholarship, you don't have to show up to that amount. Your
Mm.
bank statement.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So coming to, these amounts that you said, they are quite heavy. I know a lot of people will be saying, "Oh no, this is not for me," because of the money that is involved. Do they need this money to be paid, at once? The 15 or $13,000, do they need it to be paid at once?
No, you don't have to pay it. In fact, you don't have to pay it until you actually start the program. In fact, a semester can even go without you paying it. It's just that you won't be able to register for your next semester if you don't pay the fees. But you still have like a month to pay it. And then after maybe like a semester, you can look for some kind of scholarship, some kind of GA. You have the opportunity to like run around and work in specific offices that can give you some specific graduate assistantship positions that you fit into. And maybe after a semester, or maybe after a year, you're able to secure some kind of scholarship that can help you.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Did they need another question I want to ask? Do they need verification? Because we've been having issues with people, requiring verification from Nursing and Midwifery Council. Do they need verification before you can get into the program?
No, you don't need verification. All you need is your transcript from your bachelor's degree in nursing from your university, transcript
Mhm.
your of your BSN to be
Okay.
sent to the school. That's all you need. Yeah,
Wow.
that's all you need for you to be able to get your Nigerian license. Just show your license. You don't need verification.
But the reason why I'm asking, I know that a lot of people on this call that are hoping to use the study routes to move from different countries, they might be considering, oh, if I have to do this, I have to go to the Board of Nursing to get verification and all that. But thanks for clarifying and saying that they do
Yeah.
not need that verification. That verification is actually a very strong issue for a lot of folks that want to, go out. If they remember that they have to go through verification, especially those new graduates, if they know that they have to go through verification, it kind of dampens their spirit. But thanks for bringing that to light. Okay, thank you so much. So we're done talking about the admission without NCLEX. Is there any other thing that you think we need to know about getting an admission without NCLEX in the United States?
Can you say that again?
I mean, is there any other thing you feel
I
like we
didn't
need
hear
to
what you said,
know?
sir.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Hello?
hear you.
Okay. So is there any other thing we need to know
Yes.
about admission without NCLEX?
Um. Yeah. So actually, it's not all schools that allow this. Very few schools allow you to go through the process of getting an admission for a advanced nursing degree program without having the RN license. Very, very few schools in the US that I know of. I'm not very sure of other countries, but for the US, you have to literally search for a lot of schools. because it took me a while to find this school. And realistically, since I've actually found this school like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this is still the only school that I've seen that will allow you do a master's in nursing without your NCLEX, or will allow you start a master's in nursing without your RN license. But then some other opportunities are now open, such that it doesn't have to be a master's program. There are also PhD programs that you can do without having your RN license. Like, I've seen a lot of people do this. Like, so many people are doing their PhD in nursing without having their RN license. And most of these people came in from Nigeria. Most of the people haven't taken the NCLEX. Most of these people don't even have a master's degree. They just have a bachelor's degree. So most of them just applied from bachelor's to PhD. And this is a very good opportunity. I know a lot of people don't want to like do PhD because it's stressful. It takes a lot of years from you, which is very true. It takes a lot of commitment. But the thing is just that there are more funding and scholarship opportunities in the PhD program than they are in the master's program. So if you feel like the master's program is probably too expensive for you or is so hard getting a scholarship, you can always go into the PhD program, which funding is actually more common for PhD programs than other programs. And then you don't need a license to get in for a PhD in nursing program because it's not a clinical based program. It's more of a research based program. But so you don't need a license. I've seen quite a number of friends were able to do that successfully. Yeah.
All right. So, CJ, we're gonna work on something, and I would like, I know some people here would want to get into this program. I would like you to, is there a way you can have an alliance with the school so that people who come through you have, responses, are able to get admissions? Because I want to send people to you. I would like from this program, I would post your handle. People will get in touch with you. You help them to get admission. Is this something possible? Because one thing we do in this group, we try to help, people because we believe that we rise by lifting others. So is this something that is possible? If we send some few people to you, are you able to guide them through the process, help them get the admission, guide them through the F1 application process and all that? Even if you have to take a little token for your stress, I don't mind, but I just want it to be legit. And I know you're somebody, I know you were my candidate in the NCLEX, so I know that, you're trustworthy. I know you know us, that we have an integrity to protect. So is this something that you can do for our listeners today?
Yes, I can always help and guide people personally through the admission process, but I cannot guarantee the admission. And then, like maybe speaking to the admission director or coordinator about somebody else's admission, I might not be able to do that because I tried that for like my best friend when she was stuck. So I went to the admission office and then spoke on a behalf, and then they told me that that's a private matter, that they cannot discuss somebody else's admission with me. So I would say I have no power over the admission decision the school makes or the department makes. I can only help you through how I did mine
Okay. Okay.
personally to help you just get to the final point. Yeah.
Okay. I think that is still helpful. That's still a helpful thing. If you're able to do that, that would be great. If you're able to
Yeah.
help us
Because
out.
because this the school would not discuss somebody else's
Individual
admission with me.
issues.
They
Yes,
would,
I get that. It's part
yeah.
of like PHI, like privacy information and all that. You don't have to
Yes.
disclose things like that. I get that. I
Right.
get that, but that's fine. I have someone who has a question. Glory, did you want to ask a question? I have some other question on the comment section. Someone is asking, please, can I do the program while in Nigeria without having to migrate to the United States?
Um, can you do the program while you are in Nigeria? If it's for the master's in nursing program
Like
in this
virtually, like
current
virtually?
school, you cannot because it's not. No, it's not an online program. It's an hybrid program. You have to be present in class physically.
All right, so that's good. That's the answer to that question. And then someone also is asking, is there a list of schools? Can you name and link to the school? Can you write it or can you do what? No. So someone is asking, is there a name and link to the school? You know, can we get a name and the link to the school?
Yes. So the name of my yeah, the name of my school that I currently attend is Eastern Michigan University, and this is probably the only school that I personally know of that would take you without the NCLEX. I'm sure there might be some other schools if you send messages and you know bargain your admission and all of that. But Eastern Michigan University is the school I know of for masters, and then for PhD schools that would take you without NCLEX. I know of University of Michigan. I know of University of Florida or University of Miami, not Florida, University of Michigan, University of Miami, Purdue University, Iowa University or University of Iowa, University of Iowa, not Iowa University, University of Iowa. And then yeah, these are just the four I have at the back of my head right now. I know there are some other ones in New York, but I think Rochester will let you come in for PhD without NCLEX. And then Columbia University in New York would also give you conditional terms. If you already have your ATT and you've not yet taken the NCLEX, because I had a friend that had an ATT for New York and they were like, oh, you can come, just submit your application, we'll see what we can do about it. So Columbia University might give you some terms. And I mean, that's for PhD. And these are schools that are fully funded. This list of schools that I mentioned, they are all fully funded for PhD in nursing. I know of Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. They will take you also without NCLEX, and there are also funding opportunities. Um, what other school? Yeah, those are the ones I remember for now, but there's still more. Maybe I can drop them off maybe after the call. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever get them, send them to me. I know where to find my listeners. I'll post it on the group and have. If you get them, you can send it to me. I know where to find them. I can always like post it on the group where they will see it. Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes.
So moving on to the next on our list is the clinical
Yeah.
adaptation to the United States. So I know you practiced in Nigeria and I know you are practicing currently in the US, right? You're practicing, right? Or you haven't started?
Um, I'll say I'm going to start in June
Okay.
precisely, but yeah, June.
All right. But having like viewed,
I
our
mean,
our practice back home and here, are there any things that you can say is your take home, from the practice that you've seen?
well, it's completely different. I mean, it's not completely different. It's slightly different. Like, of course, back home we just use. I mean, the hospital that I work, we just use paper and pen to document. But here they use, computer, and I know it's like a completely different game. Trying to use the computer, you might be tough at the beginning, but like in a month, you should be able to like get used to it. And then the work ethics too can be a thing where I mean, like in Nigeria, no during night shift, no sleeping. Like I don't know, the work ethics is is very tough. I know that in Nigeria, I know, but I know here during night shifts, no sleeping, nurses, no sleeping. Your eyes are wide open for the entire 12 hours.
Yeah,
So that's what I know. I mean, it's just, I'll say it's more hectic. It's tougher, really, compared to nursing in Nigeria. They expect so much from you. They expect a lot from you. And that money that they are paying you, you work for it.
exactly. That's what all
Like
my
you really,
guests
really work
always
for
say.
it.
Many guests that I have on this program, they always say the money you are going to be paid, you will work for it. I think
Yeah,
it's a regular song on this program. So you're coming to work. You're not coming to enjoy like, people
exactly.
always think. You're coming to work, honestly. Just prepare your mind. Coming to the United States is a trip to come and work. All right. All right. So, and then that reminds me, last week I was talking with somebody and he said she got reported where she's working. He talked about sleep. That's why I remember this. He said she got reported where she was working, a CNA who happened to not like the fact that she always sends her on errand to do stuff, ended up taking a picture of her when she was sleeping,
Oh,
on night shift, and then sent it to the manager. And then the manager asked the lady, got a picture of you where you were sleeping on duty. That is not right. And this is your
yeah.
first strike. We're not gonna take that. Then the lady denied it. She said, I was just meditating. I was not sleeping. The manager said you were sleeping. He said, no, no, I was not sleeping. I was just meditating. She
Mhm.
insisted that she was meditating. And that's how even the strike that they're supposed to give her, that strike was not given to her anymore because she stood her ground that she was meditating, that she normally prays at that certain time of the night. So she was
Wow.
meditating. She was not sleeping. So so she got through with that. But I'm not saying you're going to get through with
Yeah.
it because some people will say this is not your regular church. You
Yeah.
understand? If you want to meditate, you go to your church and do that. But
Mhm.
here we are here to work. So please be
I know.
careful. Be careful. I'm just putting this out there so that you're well aware that sleeping on duty is a very big offense. Is also regarded as like you're abandoning your patient because anything that happened at that time you will not be very very knowledgeable about it because you're sleeping. So guys, just be careful. So let's go to cultural adaptation. Was this trip that you made to the United States, was it your first time of coming to the United States, or you've been coming when you were a student?
It was my first time of coming to the US, so it was a big culture shock for me. I had to
Wow.
adapt to some things, and there were some things I didn't like when I came. The things I struggled with. So yeah, it was my
Okay.
first time.
Now, CG, I want you to take your time because that's the
Yeah.
essence of us getting here every Friday. We want to learn. Okay, so we want you to take your time and explain for us
Okay.
all the cultural shock that you had, okay, and how they made you feel and how you were able to cope with them. Please take your time. You can have 10 minutes, just go through them as you wish, okay?
Okay. Okay. I probably remember everything, no? Because some are very like overcame them and moved forward, and it's now
Mhm.
like normal. Um. I don't even know. First of all, I'll say the first culture shock that I noticed is that it's a very lonely place, especially if you don't have families
Mm.
nearby. It's a very, very lonely country, something like that. So you have to like, and if you're new, it might take a while to find your own community and your own friends and everything. So it's a place where you literally just go to school, go to work, come back home, maybe go to church or go to wherever you want to go to. Like the fun is just limited. It's not like the upland city like Lagos or Nigeria where, and in this place, another culture shock was that your neighbors don't care about you. Like they don't want to know what's going on. Maybe in some cases, maybe if you are dying, they kind say, "Are you okay?" But if you are not dying, you might literally not even see your neighbors in like weeks. And then because everybody all they do here is just work and work and work. So you just see people go to work in the morning, come back at night, and then you be like, some people don't even know who their neighbor is. They can't like recognize their neighbors. So that was a big culture shock for me. Like, why wouldn't my neighbors talk to me? Why can't I just go say hi in my neighbor's house? Like, I have a neighbor that if I try to like maybe say hi and go into her house, she'd be like, "What for? Why are you coming into my house?" So it's not in Nigeria where you can just go and greet your next door neighbor. If you go into their house, they'll feel like you're pestering them or you're intruding or something. So you have to get used to staying in your space and all of that. So that was another culture shock. And a big culture shock too was the food. The food was very different from the regular Nigerian food, and I struggle with it. I was thinking I could deal with it. It was so different, man. I bring me my egusi and eba, but the food was I can't deal with the food. The food was so different. That would be another culture shock, and another culture shock that I'm even still battling with right now. I'll say is the work ethics. The work ethics, like the work ethics here is so standardized. Like they want you to put your all in your work, in what you're doing. Like if you're working 10 hours, 8 hours, you would work that 8 hours. It's not like in Nigeria that you still get a chance to take a break, come back, sit down, relax. They just want you to keep moving, keep working and working and working. So the work ethics is so standard. You can't sleep at work. You can't just do anything at work. You have to be fully focused. And that was a big culture shock for me. I feel Nigeria was very lenient with us in terms of work ethics, but the US is not joking when it comes to work, unless you lose your job. And then another thing also that I found as a culture shock was job security. Like it's very easy to lose a job in this country. Nobody cares. Like you can get a job today and they fire you tomorrow. People can get a job today and they leave the job tomorrow. I'm like, you guys don't even care. Like they will get a job today. They go, oh, I found a better place. I'm going somewhere else. Like they just leave and go in whatever way they like. They are not committed to any employer except in some exceptional cases where maybe you sign a contract and you have to stay with the employer for 5 years. But if you're not signing any contract, girl, people get a job and leave. Some people can literally get 10 jobs in 1 year and they'll be earning their money. So people are not committed to employers. And I totally understand why people just leave without committing because employers too would just fire you without
Exactly.
caring. So
Hmm.
people would also just leave the company without caring. So that's a big culture shock that I experienced. Like job in this place, we move on, man. If anything
Yeah.
happens, fire you, they leave, and then you just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say those are the little things. And as a religious person, Nigeria is a very religious country. I would say
Hmm.
it's very hard finding your Nigerian church that you like because there are
Hmm.
very few around. The most
Hmm.
common one, if you're a Christian, is RCCG that you'll find. And then there are very few. Like the next church can be like 1 hour away, 15 minutes drive away. So it was a big culture shock for me. Like, why would I want to go to church and I'm driving an hour? Why
Hmm.
would I want to go to church and I'm driving 40, 15 minutes to just go
Hmm.
to church? Because
Hmm.
you won't find your regular Nigerian churches around. Just one,
Right.
maybe one church in one city. That's
Hmm.
the way it's gonna be.
Right.
So yeah, these are the little culture shocks that I had. And in terms of academics, also, the little culture shock I had in the academic system is that in Nigeria, all we just do is just go and be reading theory, come and write exam, pen and paper. In this place, they will just bombard you with assignments every week. Assignments. You have papers to submit. You have presentations almost every week or every other week. So I'll say the academic system is very, very different because the system will just keep you busy because every week you have something to submit. Unlike in Nigeria, where I mean, of the graduate Nigerian programs, but in the bachelor Nigerian programs, you barely submit assignment every week. But here, even the undergrads submit assignment every week. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's the culture shock
Hmm.
that I had.
That's a lot, actually. As we are saying it, I was just remembering, like back home in some countries, some developing for countries in Africa, when you get a government job, they consider it a security job. So, which means
Yeah,
you're never going to be fired. It's not like
yeah,
that. It's not like that. So,
yeah.
any day you go to work and come back and there is no issues, it's
Thank
another day
God.
to thank God. Say, hey, thank God, today was a great
Yeah,
day. Because sometimes you go to work and somebody is just picking on you for no reason.
right.
So, people at work is the main thing. If there
Mm-hmm.
was nobody at work, I just go there, work all by myself. That would be good.
Yeah.
But you have to go there and have to deal with your patient and at the same time deal with people who may
Mm-hmm.
not like you because maybe of your color or your accent. Some
Yeah.
people just your accent makes them crazy. And some people,
Yeah.
most African people are beautiful. So just because you're more beautiful and you're African,
Mhm.
like how can you be so beautiful and
Yeah.
you're coming from Africa? Oh no. And that
Yeah.
becomes that becomes an issue. So, but in terms of driving, did you have any cultural shock with driving? Were you driving back home and when you got here, did you have any cultural shock? Because I know many people have come on this show, but nobody have, said anything about driving in the US. I want you to touch on that.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of cultural shock. The first cultural shock I experienced with driving was that police. can stop you anywhere, right in front of your house. They will stop you. And I'm like, police is everywhere, everywhere, every junction. I'm like, really? Because in Nigeria, you just don't find police car in every junction. Well, in this place, you just move from here to here and you see a police car. You move from here to here, you see a police car. And then another thing that happened to me one day was that I was stopped right in front of my house. Like I was parking to my house and they literally, I didn't even know they were following me. And they followed me and they parked in my parking lot and they stopped me for something that I'm not gonna say here, but
Yeah.
but that was like a big culture shock for me is that police can stop you anytime, anywhere. If you go beyond the speed limit in Nigeria, who cares your speed limit, man? People would drive so recklessly and just move, and nobody's gonna stop them. People are driving 50 miles per hour on a road of 25 or 20 miles per hour. So the speed limit can be a thing here, which was a big shock for me too. Like if you drive beyond the speed limit, a police can actually stop you. If you're speeding too much, a police can stop you. If you cross the red light, the police will stop you. And you even pay fine. When I was in Nigeria, people crossed the red light without police stopping them. So it was a big shock for me. And the way another a big culture shock I had was the way people obey the traffic light here is so admirable. Like I was like, wow, people are so good and obedient. It seems like everybody's a good person obeying the traffic. Like that was the first thing that I saw. But then later, after a couple of months, I realized that if you don't actually obey the traffic light in this country, there'll be an accident. But when I first came, I was like seeing people obey traffic. Like I was like, can people be this good and obedient? Because in
Mhm.
Nigeria, people don't obey traffic lights.
Right.
So I'll say obedience to traffic lights was a shock for me, and yeah, basically that's it. And I'll say for driving, I'll say driving can be way easier here than it is in Nigeria because like it's most like for this place I would say car is necessary like a necessity and not luxury like the way we see it in Nigeria. You literally need a car to get to work because you have to always go to work to be able to pay your bills and all of that. So and the weather too could be so bad because it might be very cold, so you need a car to survive. Unlike that's like the culture shock that I had here because some people are like, oh, I can't drive, I don't want to waste my money. Girl, you need a car to survive.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
without a car, it might be very hard. Yeah,
Oh,
without a car, it might be very hard surviving. And then yeah, I think that's just the latest thing
wow.
about driving.
That's good to know. I know that just like you're saying it, I know so many people who are on this call. Maybe you're coming here next month, you're coming here next 2 months, 5 months. But I just want to tell you, see what she said about having a car being a necessity is actually a necessity. I just remembered an incident that happened. Our colleague, one of us, one of the nurses that came from our country, came here and the husband was looking for a job and the husband had to go to somewhere that is like 25 minutes drive from where they are living. And after the job interview, he decided to walk home instead of go with an Uber. He went with an Uber, but he decided to walk home because he felt like it's 25 minutes drive, so maximum 1 hour trek. You understand? I'll get to my house. So that decision that he made was one of the biggest wrong decision of his life. So that guy got knocked down by a drunk driver and he died on the spot. Okay, so this is something I'm telling you, most of the people in US knew
Wow.
about this incident because majority of us contributed money for the funeral. So the guy died on it. That's like about just 2 months of being in the US, just about 2 months of being in the US that happened. And it was really a very tough, very tough for the wife because the wife actually asked him to Uber and come back home. The wife is the nurse and he is like the spouse of the nurse that is trying to get a job so he too can be supporting the family. Newly married couple, no kids. Came in here and 2 months later he died. So I'm just saying this so that some of you that are thinking, oh, we'll go there and maybe some places I'll trek. This is not a place where you have to trek. Everybody trekking is like in your neighborhood, you're having a walk, you understand? And that one is also on a pedestrian track. There is always a pedestrian track where you have to do that you're walking. But in terms of you walking to Walmart, walking to other places, going to grocery shop, walking to it, don't do it, please. Don't do it. Some people drive good, some people drive crazy, especially those people that are intoxicated. You don't know. Some people are learners, new young drivers, teenagers that are learning how to drive. When you're learning how to drive, you think speed is that I know how to drive is that I'm speeding. But don't do it. Prepare to always commute to places from point A to point B by vehicle. Always good, because if that accident happened with him being in the car, he won't die, because there's so many safety measures in the car that could at least save you, other than somebody knocking you down and all that. So I just wanted to put that out here so that you guys will, put that in mind as you come here. Make provision to also be on the safe side by, doing some safety measures, just obeying some safety measures. Here is not a place where you have to trek anywhere, like, anywhere you want to go. Okay, so I just wanted to put it out there. I have some questions. Someone is asking, please, is nurse practitioner program the same with MSc program? So which one are you doing? Are you doing an MSc program, or you're doing a nurse practitioner program?
Okay. I'm doing an MSN program, which is Masters in Nursing, Nurse Practitioner Specialty. There are different kind of specialties for the MSN programs. For the MSc, I think that's for just basic masters in maybe nursing informatics or something. I'm not sure. But for masters in nursing, it's called MSN, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
But I think for other kind of masters, it's called MSc. Yeah.
Okay. And another question says, does it mean that one will have to get admission before migrating using the academic visa?
Yes, you have to get your admission, get your I-20 document, secure your visa appointment, get your visa approved, and then come into the United States.
Okay. And then one last question on the chat is a Nigerian MSc acceptable in USA? As in, can I use Nigerian MSc to proceed to PhD with nurse practitioner in mind?
Um, I'm not sure about the MSc. It depends on whatever kind of MSc that you had. But for PhD in nursing, particularly, you need a bachelor's degree in nursing to be able to get in for a PhD in nursing or a master's degree in nursing. But I don't know if the MSc is in nursing or not. But for you to be able to get in for PhD in nursing, your previous degrees has to be in nursing.
Nursing. Right. Okay, good. So thank you so much. Thank you. And she said is a MSc in nursing. So I think she should be on the right track. So I would say just go ahead and apply, because I know that even though they may not give you credit for your entire program, they might give you credit for some part of your program. That way you're knocking out a whole lot of courses that you're supposed to pay for, and that's credit on you on your side. So always go for it, apply and see what happens. So Peace is asking, does BSN in Nigeria need to be evaluated, or is it just to be sent like from school? We answered that question before. All you need is your school to communicate with that school. You don't need anything from National Midwifery Council. You just need your school to communicate your transcripts to the school that you're looking for admission in, and they'll be able to, proceed with your admission procedures or protocols. Okay?
Sorry, I think I
Go
might
ahead.
understand that question. I think I might understand that question. I think she was asking if your bachelor's degree needs to be evaluated by an evaluation body, maybe like WER
Oh, I see.
or Spantran. Yes, your transcript needs to be evaluated
By
and
way.
changed into the US standard
Mhm.
4.0 transcript.
Okay.
Then the
Which one
evaluation
did
body
you
sent
use?
it to school. I
Sorry to
use
cut.
Spantran.
What?
Spantran is an evaluation body. It's just like
Evaluation.
WES, but it's cheaper than WES. So, but WES is just the most popular one and it's more
Yeah.
expensive.
But Spantran is accepted by most universities, is it?
Yeah, most universities, but not all universities.
Okay, so that's it. So guys, always make sure that your university is, accepting that evaluating body that you want to use. If you are confident you're going with Eastern Michigan University, you can use the same thing that she used, which is the Spantran, and I think it should be able to go through. All right. Yes, we are going further with our program. The next thing is the some I think this one is gonna excite everybody. I know one of the things that we look for when we come here is how to make money. So I know that you have not been feeding from Nigeria. Nigeria has not been the one feeding you. Like, you're not asking people in Nigeria to send you naira here. So how are you doing it? Are you able to find a job? Do you have high side hustles? Do you have skills that you're using? Because on your DP, I saw something. I'm like, okay, this might be something that you're doing. Okay, so but are there things that you're doing that is earning you money, while you're in school?
Yeah, so as a student, you are only allowed to work 20 hours on campus. So there are a lot of campus jobs that you can do that can help you cover for that 20 hours. And if you have a graduate assistantship position, either full-time position or part-time position, that means you'll be working in the office of where you got the graduate assistantship, where you got the job or the scholarship. So, and there's so many on-campus jobs that you can do. And I'm going to give examples. Maybe you can work in the school's dining or school's kitchen or school's Chick-fil-A or school's McDonald's in quotes, something like that. You can also work in some offices, like maybe dean's office. You can work for your department, like office assistant. There are a lot of office assistant on campus position, on campus job that can help, and you can work in the Children Institute, work with children. So many job opportunities that you can do on campus. And then if the 20 hours on campus job, the earning is not enough, you can also use your CPT, which is your internship curriculum practical training, to work off campus. I think before CPT could only be used after 1 year of entering the program, but now there is day one CPT that immediately you start the program, you can start using your CPT from day one. So CPT is like an internship that has to be approved by your school and by your department. It's like an authorization to be able to work off campus. Excuse me. And there's also full time and part time. So if it's part time CPT, it's just 20 hours. And if it's full time CPT, it's 20 hours and above, like 40 hours. So while you're doing the on campus job, which is 20 hours, you can also use your CPT to work off campus, let's say part time CPT for another 20 hours. So in total, you're working 40 hours in a week, which is like a full time job. Yeah. So you can also if you have your NCLEX already, you can also work as a nurse with your CPT off campus.
Wow. That's good. And then are
Yeah.
there are
So I'll
there
say
things
that's
like
the work ethics, the works.
okay. Are there things like skills, other skills that you have that you can use and make money on your own without having to work for people?
Yeah, I mean, if you can braid hair,
Uh-huh.
if you're a good braider, if
Mm-hmm.
you can braid hair, it's a good way to make
I
a
hope you
lot
guys
of
are
money. A
listening.
lot of money.
Those that
So
are saying, what can I
braiding.
do when I'm waiting for, sorry to cut you, when I'm
Yeah.
waiting for retrogression? See, one of them is here. All right. What can I do if you can braid hair? Be dropping it. What else? Apart from hair braiding,
If you're also a baker, maybe you bake specialized or
that's the
yeah.
one I saw.
Maybe if you're also a baker, you bake specialized or customized. Yeah. So you can also bake cake for people, maybe specialized cake, not the regular cakes that people find in Walmart. You have to put in your skills to show that whatever cake you're selling is different from what they can easily buy from Walmart. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
some people also sew, like sewing
Clothes.
clothes. Mhm.
Nigerian
I
clothes,
have a friend that
traditional
sews
clothes.
Nigerian Ankara and clothes. Yes, some people sew clothes too here. If you are very skilled at tailoring or fashion designing, you can also do that. Some people do photography. like taking people professional pictures. I mean, these are side also that you can always do on your own. But I'll say most popular one that brings a lot of money is braiding hair. So if you feel like you can braid hair from Nigeria or the skills is not perfect, you might want to start working on the skills.
Right. This is true. And I want to encourage everybody who is waiting on retrogression. Develop yourself. Just go and develop yourself. Go and find something, find a skill and learn. You don't know, this might be one of the major things that God wants you to, get from this retrogression. Get something extra because let me tell you something. When you get to the US, sometimes you would work, you're gonna get work, you're gonna get overtime, but sometimes you'll be tired. And you'll be looking for what else can I do? A lot of people who have been here for 5, 6, 7 years, they come back to me and they're asking me, which business? What else can we do? We are tired of bedside nursing. That's what people are singing now. You're not going to sing that song now because you're fired up. You want to come and work. But 7, 10 years down the line, you're going to look for what can I do aside from bedside nursing? And at that point, what I would like you to do is, come up with some of these skills, be it these business ideas that she's bringing, African store, African dress, African cakes, or any traditional thing that you can bring from your home country. Look for your community where people that are coming from the same country from you are coming from. Advertise what you're doing to them and charge them in dollars. You don't know how much you're going to be making, but now is the time for you to develop yourself. Take this home and pay tithes later. Remember to pay tithes, okay? All right, so thank you everyone. And then I'm going to
Yep.
ask you one more question that I see on the comment section. They said, can someone who has passed NCLEX and signed up with an agency go with this study program? And then another question that follows that is, can someone go with the family? And if yes, can the spouse work? So if you come with F1, can your spouse work on an F2?
According to what I know, I don't think you can work on an F2 visa. Like, if I'm correct, sir, I'm not
You
very
are,
sure,
you
but
are, keep going, you are.
I don't think your spouse can work as a student. Yeah. Okay, so if you can come in with your spouse, absolutely, you can come in with your spouse, but your spouse cannot work until I don't know until when, but your spouse can work on an F2 visa.
Yeah, what I have
Yeah.
seen that happen before is when you come in with your spouse will be here for some time and get either a H1B or get what is it called? Get another F1 to study like a student visa, enroll in a program and get like all the benefit that comes with it, 20 hours or maybe CPT, anything that comes with it, your spouse can get that. But as far leveraging on, bringing your spouse is also a burden. Sometimes when you're going to the embassy for F1 visa and you're taking your children, you're taking your family, sometimes it makes it impossible for that visa to be granted. I'm just saying from experience though. Disclaimer, I am not an immigration officer, but from what I have seen that has happened with people, when they applied with their family, it will be rejected or placed on hold. But when they applied themselves alone and leaving their family behind, their family will be seen as a tie that they will still come back because this is not an immigrant visa. It is a visa that, you're hoping that one day you will still, transition to get your green card and get your immigrant, citizenship and all that. So, but, in the meantime, they want to see some ties that shows that you're going to go back to your country after your study. So the only tie that they can see, ties are things like your family, you're leaving your wife behind, they are ties, you're leaving your children behind. There are ties if you have a business and you're leaving it behind. There are ties if you work with a government hospital or a government institution and they are giving you a letter saying that we are releasing you for you to go for this study and come back to us after. That's also a very strong tie. Okay, that's a strong tie. If you have assets in your home country, if you have like buildings, landed properties, that you have, you can provide evidence that this is in your name. They are all ties. And with this kind of ties, you have higher case before the consular officer that you're going to come back after your studies. That's what you say, but you know these things can change. You can come and say, you know what, I think I like this place. I'm just gonna stay, and then you can look for how to stay. But in the meantime, this is things that they want to see to show them that you qualify for that type of visa. Am I correct, CJ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Okay.
you're
All right.
correct, sir.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So these are the side hustles, things that you can do when you come over here. Learn. Go and learn something with this time that you're waiting. Don't just wait. Learn something. Find something that you can learn. All right. So the last on our list before we open the phone lines to phone calls and other questions is just your NCLEX journey. I know we've explained how everything happened. You got into the program. You got into the program without your NCLEX. You came here. You did your NCLEX and you passed. And I just wanted you to touch on that. You know, your NCLEX journey. How did it go? You know how if you can share any story about your NCLEX with us and how you were able to go about it.
Okay. So my NCLEX journey, it wasn't like a smooth road for me. I had some challenges, and then before I came to Decency, I would say Decency Academy really helped me in my NCLEX journey, and I had to take the one-on-one classes because I needed help for the NCLEX, and I would say the one-on-one classes really, really helped me. Um, that was what really helped me, literally. That was what really helped me. Like, there's no sugarcoating anything because I've tried other means and other ways and it didn't work out. And then when I came to Decency, the one-on-one classes helped me. If you're to like writing your exams, just go for the one-on-one classes, and I'll say it was really helpful. And after the one-on-one classes, and literally I just had I think 1 month one-on-one class with Decency, and I got it. Like, it was after a month class that I was able to get it, and I'm so excited. I'm grateful to God for that. I'm grateful to Decency too. So that was just it. I will just say it wasn't a smooth journey. It had a lot of bumps on the road. Yeah, so
Thank you so
that's
much,
it.
CG. Thank you, CG. Thank you for listening to us
Yeah,
and following our instruction. You know, we like people when they come to us, they're able
yeah.
to follow our instructions. And you are one of these people that, just came to us and we're like, okay, what do I do? And we told you what you would do and you did it. And we are all happy that you've passed your NCLEX today. So congratulations to you again. And then we wish you all the best in your
Thank
career. We're going to open the phone
you.
lines. But before we open the phone lines, guys, if you have gotten value from the conversations we're having today, I want you to type value plus on the comment section. I want to see your value on the comment section. Keep typing. I want to see it. Are we typing values right now? Is anybody typing values? Is anybody typing values? I want to see a lot of values. If you're not getting value, let me know. I would, change my strategy. But I think we are giving you value today. So if you're getting value, kindly type value on the comment section, please. Value, 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 value. Value, 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 value. Yes, I want to see more. We have many people on the show. We want to see more. How many people do we have? We're up to 90 before, so we should be having 90 values. Okay, let's get value, value, value. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. We've gotten so many values. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I'm going to be opening the phone lines. If you want to ask CG any question, particularly if you want to ask her any question about her relocation process, how she was able to, get along with people and convert, language. Where there's a lot of things we did not talk, communication. CG speaks very well. She's very good with, she might not have any problem with communication though. But if you want to ask her about communication, how she was able to cope with a lot of different things. Now is your time. You can ask me, for you to ask her that, so if you are interested in asking questions, just use the reaction button and raise up your hand. I'll give you the opportunity to open your phone microphone and then you can ask the question. Okay, so I'm waiting. Who is going to be my first caller on the show? Who is going to be the first person on the show? Even if you just want to say thank you for the information that you got, Yes, we can do that as well. All right. So if you want to ask a question, use the reaction button, raise up your hand, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask your question. I'm waiting to see people use the reaction button. Am I the one that is not just seeing? Is anybody raising their hand or my computer is frozen? Okay. All right, Christiana. Christiana, I've asked you to mute yourself and ask your question. Unmute. How are you
Okay,
doing,
good evening, boss.
Christiana?
Very well, thank you, boss. And you too, how are you doing?
Good, good. I'm doing good. Where are you calling from?
Boss, it feels so good.
You said?
Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Christiana. Go ahead.
I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can go ahead with your commendations,
Hello?
questions. Yeah, we can hear you, Christiana.
Hello, boss, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear. I think Christiana is having some issues with her network. Yeah, Christiana, we can hear you. Everybody is hearing you. Just go ahead. And if there's any other person that has something to say, you can as well raise your hand and I'll give you the mic. Okay. All right. Gradually. I have one more question to ask, ask you. I know I didn't tell you about this question I'm going to ask you, but I will still ask you the question though. If you choose to answer it, fine. If you don't choose to answer it, that's okay. But I'm not going to be embarrassing you though. It's just a normal question. CG, don't worry. You're in a safe place, okay? You're in a
Okay.
safe place. Okay, now. Do you have anybody that want to say anything in the group? If you want to ask question or anything you want to say, please kindly. Christiana, please come back. Raise your hand again and be in a better place where you can have reception and then we can give you the microphone. Please, Christiana, raise up your hand again and we can let you ask your question. All right. Okay, so one of the questions I want to ask today is I'm not holding you to it. If you choose not to, I just want to, it's fine. But I know I've not really had I've not had people who are single come on this show. And, I know that being in the US, being a single lady, I don't know. I don't know if you're single though, but even if you're not single, how do you think, people who are single can cope in this country? Being that, I know a lot of people that personally, when they were in Nigeria and they were talking to me, I'm like, okay, now that your process is getting towards the end, it's better, if you have anybody that is serious with you, find a way to, make the person hasten things up and all that. But they will say, no, 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 I don't want anything. I just want to go. And then by that time they get here, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, they are still single. Some of them are coming back to me and say, my dear, I think I missed. I'm like, what can we do? So do you have any word, any word for that? Anything to say to that regard? If you say no, that's fine.
I mean, well, it could be very hard coming as a very single person, but if you're single and you feel like you want to come without like getting married or getting attached to anybody, I feel like you should come. Being single can also help you achieve a lot of things without being married. Like you have less responsibilities and you're able to, after you're done in school, you're able to work, make your money, invest your money into more things than, I mean, being married and having kids and having a whole bunch of responsibilities. So it comes with its advantages and disadvantages. I'll say being single can help you, managing your money more and investing better before get married. It comes with its own advantage. But then the disadvantage could be that it could be very lonely in the country. Like I said, it's a very lonely country. It's a country where people just work, just go to work and come back, just go to work and come back. So it's a very the social life, I would say to me, the social life is zero. zero compared to Nigeria. So, I mean, some people would argue this, but really, the social life is zero because people just, I'll say, for if you're a Christian, I'll say most Christians just tend to just do church communities. In fact, churches now are literally more of a community than a religious organization in the country because people are just trying to put themselves together. We're from Nigeria, let's stay together. So that's how lonely it can be. So if you maybe have somebody that you're engaged to, if you want to come married, you can come married. I mean, but if you are married and you come if you're married and you come without your spouse, it could also be harder. It's almost like you're still single. So it could, in fact, it is even more, it's more tough when you're already married and you don't have your spouse here. But if you know you're not married, no spouse, and you come here, trust me, it's easier than someone that's already married
Mm.
and can't bring their spouse. So I mean, it's not bad. Single life, it's doable. Like it's not really, really so bad. But yeah. But eventually we'll all get
Yes.
married.
Definitely, definitely. I know you may
Yeah.
have something cooking. Just give us invitation when it's all done, okay? We will be there.
God
All right,
having.
thank you so much, CG.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering the question.
Mhm.
And without any doubt, you really, did justice to the questions that we asked you today. And I really appreciate you being on this call and answering all the questions that we have. There's still a lot of question popping about what kind of jobs spouses can do. I think I've done a program on that. You can go to my YouTube and look at IT jobs in the US, and you'll be able to see all the kind of jobs that a spouse can do. There's a lot of them, a lot. Your spouse can actually do a whole lot of jobs here in the US. That won't be any problem. Finding a job is not also a problem. They'll be able to find a job easily. All right. And also someone is asking, how easy is it coming with a child without your spouse? I think CG just answered that coming with a child without your spouse is as good as you're coming with someone who you're going to need care for. Like, sometimes when you have to take extra shifts or kind of go to work where you're not supposed to because you have a child, unless you have a support, maybe you're going to be living closer to relations, then it becomes easy. But if you're not, then it becomes a big deal, having to watch that kids. And then the last question is, what are the options for single parents with kid? How do they cope with managing kids and work? Are there options? My dear, I think I don't know, CG, do you want to say something on that last question? Say what are the options for single parents with kids? How do they cope with managing kids and work?
I don't think I have a lot of experience on that. I think you might be able to answer better than me.
Okay, okay. So for the most part, what I've seen people do is just to identify support systems here in the US. So when you come over here, find other parents. Sometimes you can, though it's not always good. Though there's everything that has advantage has disadvantage. Recently I was discussing I have a close circle of friends that we always like meet from time to time, and we discuss. So we're discussing about there's been a recent increase of sexual molestations among parents that take their children for sleepover in other people's house. So when you take your children to go and sleep over in people's house because you're going for night shifts, you don't know what happens to that child. And some children, once they have a traumatizing event, they become mute about it. They don't talk to anybody. They just soak it in, and you might not even know what's going on in your child. A lot of children, there's one that happened recently. The guy actually went out and then killed himself because of the threats from people who they did something with, things that I cannot say on this show. But there's disadvantage. But if you find people who has the same belief with you, who you believe that they are gonna be like good parents, you can actually take your kids to their house and they'll help you watch them while you go to work, and they can as well bring to you when you're off duty, and you can watch their kids while they themselves go to work. So you guys can do like exchanges like that. I've seen people who are doing it. Even some people do it in terms of cars, going to work together. You're driving somebody, you know that your flatmate or your apartment colleague is going to work and it's morning shift. You can wait and you guys can ride on the same car to work. And then when you close from work, you call her, both of you ride back again. there's that kind of unity formations that people have in the United States where they kind of share responsibility with people who are not even their relations. But the best is just to have like a relation here, live close to them, and they can actually help you take care of children. Or you can get a nanny. There's always a place called care.com. You go to care.com, you register, you get a nanny, a living nanny, have them come to your house. But I would advise always have a camera in your house when you have your nannies in your house. Have camera everywhere except the toilet, And if you watch those camera and see that they are in the toilet for more than 30 minutes, start calling them. You understand? So just that, just have cameras everywhere, and you can have those people come to your house and watch your kid. But childcare is expensive. Childcare is very, very expensive. Those that are going to be coming to your house to work and take care of your baby, they'll be charging you as almost what they're going to be paying you for where you're going to work. Some people, some childcare nannies, they take up to like 23, $24 per hour. Some people even take up to $30. If you have up to 2 or 3 kids, they are going to charge you based on per child. You understand? And then they take more money.
Yeah.
So you end up, if one child is $20 and you have three, that's $60 an hour for that person. You understand? And then I don't know how much that your agency is going to be paying you, that you'll be paying somebody $60 an hour. It doesn't really make financial sense. You're just going to be collecting money from your work and giving it to somebody else. That's just what you'll be doing. At the end of the month, you have nothing to, yeah. So you have to decide. You have to decide. I've seen people also who, because they are single parents, they told themselves the truth. I'm going to hustle. I have a grandmother. I have a mother who can take care of my child. I'm going to leave my child with my mom. When I'm ready, I'll come take my child, but let me go first and prepare the way, just like a forerunner. You're just going to go first, prepare the way, then come back for your people. People also do that. It's all about understanding. I know people don't always do it when it comes to married couples, because some men, once you leave them, before you come back, you know that you have a second, a co-wife will be waiting for you at home, depending on how you guys, your relationship and all that. But I just want to say, one of the best thing that you have to do is to try as much as possible, have a conversation with your spouse, and know what works for both of you. All right, so thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm just gonna get a final word from CG. CG, a lot of people who are listening to me, they're either enduring retrogression, or they are waiting on one thing, I-140, who is taking a lot of time. So is there any last word that you can say to our people, just to encourage them as they are waiting for this final stage of their process?
Um, I'll just say I know it's very hard waiting for green card, because eventually we all have to wait. Even we that we are students, we came in as students. Eventually, we're still, if we're going through the EB3 route, we're still also have to gonna wait for the retrogression. It's almost like everybody is affected, except if you are, maybe if the student is using other route. But it's very hard. But I just feel like if you can wait and just do something else with your life, because it's actually moving like 5 years at most from now. You have your green card, and it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth the wait. And I feel like the most important thing is just doing something different, something that is not nursing, something that can add value to one's life. Why we wait for the retrogression and all of that. And if you want to come as a student, if you're really passionate about coming as a student without the NCLEX, or even if you have the NCLEX already, you can come. And if you probably have signed a contract with an agency or something, it doesn't stop you from coming in as a student, because there are two different visa routes. So you can come in for your F1 visa, but it's just that you might still have to keep your bargain of the contract with your agency after you get in. So just come as a student. Personally, I would advise to go through the PhD route, because it's fully funded. Because most PhD nursing programs are fully funded. Because it might be very hard finding scholarships for the master's program. But if you are ready for the dedication and the commitments that the PhD is asking of you, you can just go for the PhD. It's always easier to get the visa approved when you have full funding, and you just come in. You can come in with your family. I have a friend that is in a PhD program, and he came with his wife and his son. So it's always easier when you have a fully funded PhD program. to bring your family along with you. So just go for the PhD if you are ready for it. Not everybody wants to do a PhD. It's not easy doing a PhD. PhD takes a lot of commitment, but if you know you can do it and you're ready for it, go for it. Do the PhD. You don't have to wait for retrogression or NCLEX. Come for the 4 years master PhD nursing program. And before you're even done with the PhD, you probably already have your NCLEX. You can get your green card through other routes, maybe through the EB2 NIW or through, you know, any other route that you want to get the green card. Even EB1 for some professionals already that have like publications and that you can use the EB1A. You don't have to wait for the EB3 that nurses are waiting for. And you have other options to explore. And some people that are single that can come for the PhD route, that those that still don't want to wait for the EB3, because you coming as a student does not exempt you for the on the from the wait list of the EB3. If it's still the EB3 you're still going to eventually use, it doesn't exempt you from, you're going to wait like every other person in Nigeria is waiting. If you're using the EB3, it's just that you're on an F1 visa and others are like waiting for the green card. So if you want to come for the PhD, you can come, maybe find love, true love, and marry somebody, that can just help you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, just come for the PhD program if you're ready for it. And it will really make your life easy, but be ready to put in the work also, because PhD takes a lot of commitment from you. Yeah, I think that's my final advice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your advice. Thank you. And we are going to be asking everybody that is on this call today, please kindly use the comment section and tell CG thank you. And I want you to tell CG thank
Yeah,
you
thank you so much.
in your own dialect, like in your own language. If you're from Gambia, say thank you in Gambia and then put Gambia so that we know where it's coming from. If you're from Nigeria, any tribe in Nigeria, put thank you there. Tell us what tribe. We want to learn a lot of language today. And CG, we want to teach you something today. So let's teach you the DNA way, different ways to say thank you. So just watch the comment section. You're going to see a lot of names popping in, a lot of languages popping in there. So I hope those people
Yeah,
from my Ghana people, Rams, all of you, I hope you guys are saying thank you in Ghana. Please, I want to hear Ghanaians saying thank you in Ghana, please. Okay, those from Gambia, those from Saudi Arabia. I've not seen anybody speak Saudi Arabia here. Please, I want to see language from Saudi Arabia. I want to see it on the comment section. Zambia, yes, Zambia is represented. Those from Zambia, thank you so much. Yes, I want to see more people from different countries. I don't think I've seen Kenya. Is Kenya here? If anybody is from Kenya, please, I want you to say thank you in Kenya so that CG will learn. I want CG to learn how to say thank you in different dialects. So that's one thing that we do every time we gather here. We try to say thank you in different dialects and different languages so that people who come
thank
here can learn as
you.
well.
Thank you.
So, wow. So somebody is, kind of compiling all the names, all the languages for us. Nakam is Gambia, Madasi is Ghana, then Dalo is Igbo, Ese is Yoruba, and then Nagode is Hausa. All right, thank you so much, everyone that has typed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I have one important information. Some people were kind of dismissed from agencies, from different agencies recently. If you are in that group, they were dismissed because they don't have a BSN or something. If you are in that group, kindly let me know. Just find a way to send us a chat, send us a message on our listen, and then we'll be able to get you into another agency. I know it's very hard. Most of them have had I-140s, and they were just told that they cannot continue with those agencies. I don't want to mention the name of the agency, but you know yourself, if you are in this group and you were dismissed from any agency, reach out to me and we can get you moving forward with the same I-140 that you have without having you file another I-140. So reach out to me and then we can work on that. And then there are lots of hospitals popping up and then looking for people who has TN visa. TN visas are for people in Canada and people in Mexico. If you have TN visa or you're a citizen of Canada or a citizen of Mexico, please kindly reach out to me. I have a link to a hospital that can get you up to $30,000 in sign-on bonus, $30,000 in sign-on bonus from this hospital if you belong or if you're coming from these two countries, Mexico and Canada, or if you have TN visa. All right, these are the two information I have to send out for you guys before the end of the show. And then coming from me to you, CG, I know it's a long time coming up, with us planning and, trying to see if this will happen. I think it's worth it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the information you shared. They are priceless. And then
Yeah, thank you, sir.
your handle was posted on our
Thank
group. And I know that a lot of people will reach out to you. I'm pleading when they reach out, please kindly accord them the help that they require, please. We want people to move ahead. And then, like we said, we rise by lifting others. So thank you so much and have a blessed weekend ahead. All right. And then to everybody that has been on this
Yeah,
show, this is me to you
thank you,
saying thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. And then from me to you, I say thank you for being on this show. Thank you so much. I didn't even know my video was off. Thank you for being on this show, and I will see you again next week with another clinical and cultural adaptation for the US. Okay, so someone also is asking me if we can do clinical and cultural adaptation to Australia and to UK. So we will be talking about that. We have people in mind, but before we get in there, we're going to conclude our own clinical and cultural adaptation to the United States with a roundtable conference of all the people that has been on this show. So we are going to get into that and we'll talk about it when the time comes. Okay. So thank you all and God bless you. I will see you all next week, Friday. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye. Thank
Thank you.
you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank